This is Alekius, and welcome to something a little different. We're looking at Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts today. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to share those experiences with you. As you can see, I've been poking it a little bit, get a feel for it. The basics for the Alpha 1 version 60 development build right now. They're light on options. It's kind of all the settings you have available. Choose between millimeters and inches, some post-processing effects, no pause loading, and volume controls. I'm sure they'll flesh that out with time. They've got the credits, of course, so you can see the team working on it over there at I just forgot who it was. Game Labs. Their news, the campaign, which is in progress right now, and the Naval Academy, which has a bunch of scenarios that act as a little bit of a tutorial and kind of like a few sets of missions. The way those work is you have a given objective, they tell you about that objective. In this case, they give you a lot of information. They give you a time limit, a win condition, what to expect, and your criteria. Then you get these bonuses you can choose from to unlock more stuff. So you're building a battleship against an immobilized target battleship. Makes sense to use main guns. Not sure small guns would be very effective. But you also get this one that unlocks a couple of components, which I can't remember what those are right now. And that brings you out to this build screen. See if I can figure out what those extra components were. Doesn't look like it. Oh well, we'll do the balanced approach, getting a bonus to several things. Something to note is if you go below 50% on the cost, you'll have 2. I might try to do that. Oh, that's gonna be quite a squeeze. Yeah. Although once you equip it, it won't have all that. Anyways, the build screen is a little bit daunting at first, but once you kind of get used to it, it's easy to comprehend and work with. So you have your weight limit that you're working with, your cost limit that you're working with, tells you about it and whatever you need. And you have all of these stats on the side, like the displacement, cost, build time, maintenance, top speed, engine armor, which that's deck armor and belt armor, crew, bulkheads. Goes okay. You have your displacement, you have your weight, resistance, which is resistance to damage, hull form, which is bonuses to how it moves because of how it flows through the water, stability for accurate guns, floatability for impact of flooding, and then on and on through all of these things. Okay, how long does it take to change course? How long does it take at full speed? How quickly does it accelerate, decelerate? What's the turning rate? How much of a speed loss do you get while turning? What's the turning diameter? Visibility, torpedo detection range, accuracy bonuses, your armor, and damage modifiers, weights and costs for all of your various modules, groups, and then reiterating these stats in a slightly different format. Pardon me, I'm a little bit under the weather, but well enough to do this. For this first tutorial, to keep it very simple, you can't really change much of the components. You could go to component armor if we felt like it. Could also put on barbettes and other defensive protection things that are going to cost us weight and money and not really do much. And then you have your first real decision if you're going through the game for the first time like this. That's, you want to just leave all default stuff, or you want to shoot faster with less penetration and less damage per shell and higher muzzle velocity, or you want heavier shells that hit harder but way more and such. I'm gonna go with light this time. I'm not gonna bother increasing the ammo. I'm gonna reduce it. No torpedoes in this scenario. And then you can pick the type of powder that you're using, which the black powder is the default, has certain malices. And then you have gun cotton and ballistite, which I think for this purpose causes the ammo to cost more, but that's such a small factor. Then you have turrets, like how quickly they rotate. Actually, I can go through a lot of this. The engine technology is what kind of engine is it going into it, generally from left to right being smaller weight, but there are a couple different breakpoints. You have your steam engines, and then you get turbines, which doubles your horsepower per engine ton and is easier to repair and is less likely to take damage, but is 4 times more costly. Gas turbines are just better versions of it. And then you switch over to diesel, which saves a lot on fuel stowage because it's more efficient. It has a much easier time repairing, a much less chance of being damaged, but the horsepower per engine ton is less. Then you have coal, semi-oil, and full oil, or what kind of boilers you have. And a lot of that is really bonuses to funnel capacity, which you have to, let's get down here. That's this engine efficiency, smoke exhaustion from the funnels affecting how quickly you accelerate and your torque at high speed, which limits what your max speed will be. So you can have, oh, my max speed's going to be 33, but if you don't have proper ventilation for the funnels, you're going to, you're not going to reach 33 knots ever because the torque's too low. That and they're a little bit different, like your ammo detonation chance is lower with coal fired because the coal bunkers cover as additional protective measures as the coal's stored there, whereas oil doesn't get that, but you can pack it in a lot smaller. And then you have the half and half, and then you have your boilers, which that's the biggest impact on funnel capacity, weight, and cost, as well as for the engine. Basically forced ventilation for the engines. Auxiliary engines, those help with damage control efforts with the water pumping and ship repairs. They also have a small bonus turret traverse and max speed penalty from engine damage, especially with the turbo electric drive, but they cost more and they weigh more. The shafts, upgrades to the shaft and props, that helps with turning and acceleration. Then you have your armors, which generally are just lighter weight or additional cost, trading weight for money or money for weight. It does improve armor strength though, so that can't be ignored. Your barbettes lower cost, weight, and give you a smaller chance of ammo detonation because you protected them. Anti-torpedo protection, you're protecting against torpedoes in exchange for weight. Double bottom, triple bottom, you're trading weight for extra resistance and torpedo protection. That's this whole protection thing, is trading weight for better fire extinguishing, for better flooding, for better protection for the engine and the ammunition stores, so you get less detonations. Then you have your shell weight, we kind of went over. Your number of rounds, so minus 35% shell rounds to eliminate an extra bonus to ammo detonation because it's stored better. Torpedo weight, or number of rounds, is just the weight. Then I kind of went over these. It's not a sliding scale. They're generally different. Like white powder is good if you want general lightweight powders with a lot of bonuses. High TNT for the maximum shell damage. Lyddite if you want a high fire chance for HE shells. Like they're all different. And that just takes getting used to. The hydraulics for the turrets, stir speed for engine and hull weight, depending on what it is. Like the hydraulics is a little engine weight. The electrical is hull weight, because those electrical systems are involved. Hydraulic, both together, but really fast turrets. Then you have your autoloaders, which actually hurt gun range. I hadn't noticed that before. And base accuracy. Interesting. I'm going to do that for this one. You also have your torpedo types, standard speed, faster speed, and your stealth torpedo, the electric. And then your torpedo size, which is straight damage for cost and weight. Normally cost is the big thing for the torpedoes so far. Then you have your sliding scale for rangefinders. They just straight line get better. But there's two kinds. There's the close coincidence rangefinder, and then there's the distance with a bonus to gun long range accuracy rather than overall gun accuracy. And that's the stereoscopic rangefinder. So coincidence, stereoscopic. Coincidence, stereoscopic. Then you have hydrophones, which help you detect torpedoes. Radio for communications, which I think doesn't really have doesn't weigh in the current game, but in the campaign it will. And then your radar for additional spotting and gun accuracy. And you have all your armors for various sections. Your belt extended, belt being right here, and the citadel, belt extended being non-citadel, of vertical protection. Then deck extended, protection for your deck, citadel, and then protection for non-citadel deck. Conning towers, your turrets, your turret tops, and then your secondaries, wherever those might be. So they aren't going to be shooting at us. So we can actually go nuts and get rid of all of the armor. As much as it will let us. This is classified as a battleship, so you have to have an 8-inch belt. Otherwise it wouldn't be a battleship. Some of my first impressions of the game. Very enjoyable. I like the direction they're going. It's unique because it's sophisticated but relatively easy to use. Don't let this interface daunt you. There's a lot of stuff in it. There's tooltips for it already. And kind of like automation, I'm certain they'll get those tooltips fleshed out with time if you're not familiar with some of the concepts. Generally for the ships, you'll have multiples to choose from here, and that'll determine your hull. You should choose that first. You have your towers, which are all about communication, spotting, and accuracy. actually guess I don't need the accuracy right now. I haven't seen the Tower 1. We can forego the aft tower altogether. Stick on a funnel. Barbettes for doing superimposed. But we can't do that right now because this is a very basic, very early dreadnought. And then main guns. And you can see the penetration to the belt and deck and accuracy at various ranges. And you can see how the modifiers of everything we chose on the left kind of modify everything on the right for the amount of ammo, the damage, range, rate of fire, all that stuff goes into it. So the choice is a 13-inch gun Mark 1 or 12-inch Mark 2. Which you'll note the Mark 2 has a much improved reload time. Because the 9 through 12-inch guns that are all very similar. The 13 at this point has not been researched to be significantly better. It's the Mark 1. I'm going to use a good old 12 double-barreled. I'm going to place it right where it's... Man, if only. They've got sticky points, these little orange plus marks. Oh yeah, since I didn't put a back turret on, I can put a 9-inch up there. I can stick a 10. Nope, it's too big. Make a mutant of a dreadnought here. Or, sorry, semi-dreadnought. You'll also note, if you go to the casemates, you have all sorts of slots for them. Because of this hull, and different hulls have different pre-arranged slots. You're not limited entirely to those. And you'll note that there's a maximum size for each. I'm just checking, I didn't think there was any extra slots for any of the smaller guns. But that doesn't stop you from sticking other guns on here. You can place them in here, but they don't have a firing arc. That wouldn't accomplish anything. And in my experience, you can generally only stick 4-inchers on this hull type in various spots. There's no room because I took the different tower. And stick them back here too, but why? It blocks the arc of fire for the rear turret. Which, why not demonstrate? I put one, well, that doesn't block very much. If I stick a pair back there, you can see it blocks those firing arcs for that rear turret. Being that that's my primary armament, I don't want to do that. So let's get rid of this main tower in the front and get the slim modern one. Then it can be a single 4 or 2 3-inch or 2-inch. I can't fit those back there since I put that 9-inch on there. Actually, oh, I don't have side guns. It has to be rats. Let's see if I could put a pair of one facing each side. For giggles. And if we look at the engine efficiency, we need more funnels or bigger ones. And there are trade-offs for these. I have only the one battleship, I can make it faster. Much faster. That's extremely fast. 39% efficiency. And that's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, the secondary tower is required. But I don't want. I have the 9-inch. There we go. Range is kind of a gimme right now. I forgot about these. Bulkheads increase your protection. I'll show you what that does in in-game effect as soon as we hit launch. Range doesn't change much for the scenarios as far as I can tell. Speed is speed. It costs machinery weight, and displacement that determines your weight limit per ship. So let's hit launch. There's a ridiculous ship, and we'll pause for a moment. You have your compass with your wind compass rose right there, or wind vane in there. The weather is randomly generated, so it's evening, so accuracy is reduced. Clear weather, so accuracy improved. Calm winds. Smooth waves, so there's small decrease. Time left. Enemies. These are objectives. Your time multiplier. So on pause, go, times 2, 3, and 5 times speed. You can also see at what modifiers go into the accuracy at various ranges for your various guns, because you see the different guns here. 4 12-inch, 18 6-inch, 10 5-inch, and 8 3-inch. And then you can see the target as well, which we're in the process of identifying it, but we can already tell they have 2 double turrets and intake funnels, so on and so forth. But the bulkheads, that kind of is this grid menu that you can see with the transverse bulkheads right there. Look at ours, it's pretty sparse as well. You go with maximum, it's more, there's a lot more compartments within it. And then whatever information you have at whatever ship you've clicked on, you have the displacement, top speed, known armor, its bulkheads, and then its various armaments, where they are in the shooting process, so they're ladder aiming. This one's target locked, meaning their ladder is successful, so they're at maximum accuracy. The accuracy, and then you can see green is locked. Here it's 0% of ladder aiming. If that makes sense. You can give the AI control. You can set the formation up in a various ways if you have multiple ships in your formation. Line ahead, line abreast. The 4 is the spacing, whether it's long spacing, close spacing, or tight and wide. You can specify what kind of ammo you want to be shooting. You can specify whether they should stop shooting, they should save their ammo, be more aggressive, or just react normally. Same for torpedoes. There's a couple settings for them. Smoke generators, which light cruisers typically have. Later on, I think destroyers get them as well. The number 9 is your detach command. This is your engine order telegraph, or what speed to go. This is your manual rudder, or turning left and right. And you can also right-click on the map to give automatic helm orders. And then if you have multiple groups that you've detached, you can collapse them, expand them, see what ships are in them, and click on the interface elements down there. And then the battle typically progresses. You can right click on targets to tell the ship to focus on that target. They then open up, and you'll get the them firing, and you'll get these interfaces. Okay, damage, main gun, fire, doing 3 points of damage into the armor. And you can see on their interface that certain compartments have been damaged. And if we want that permanently up, we can actually go over here. And they don't have decals for penetrations yet. They have overall damage models that they'll swap out as certain sections take additional damage. They'll swap out that section and it'll look a little bit more beat up. You also have your reporting log, which you can throw everything in there. And most recent is at the top, oldest is down at the bottom. Same for this ship's log. You can see one of our 12-inch did 22 damage with a penetrating shot, which is not great, but it's better than most of these secondaries that are penetrating. You can examine this and see, okay, a lot of these are partial penetrations. Oh, well, 5-inch did a full penetration. You get a few icons for certain statuses that you can mouse over. She's on fire, so she'll take structural damage. A ship is no longer combat capable and eliminated when it takes full structural damage or flotation damage. Bring her up to 5 knots. Bring her down the opposite side. At close range. We'll go ahead and accelerate this a little bit. Okay, we'll accelerate it a lot. Kind of gone over the interface. Not much left to go over. There is no saving any of your designs as yet. You just kind of design on the fly for any of these missions that they have available and see how it goes. Well, there you go. That was the basic tutorial. Second one goes shooting at a cruiser as a battleship, then shooting at another battleship that is also shooting back. Which, that might be fun to do again. I think they give you a similar amount of money as well. Yeah, they keep things relatively simple. But it's more reason to use some of these extra options to decrease the chances of ammo detonation and engine damage. Go with enhanced. Torpedoes are super basic right now. You can do an older tumble home type battleship. Actually, I'll just go ahead and swap to it. I'll have to go through the options again, but you have the tumble home design that you can do, and you can also do an armored cruiser, which that might be fun. I haven't done that for this one, and I can do multiple ships and fight a battleship with it. Be interesting. So let's see how that might work out. Might keep things simple. Not add all this extra protection. Stick with standard. We'll go with I'll stay enhanced. And I want that base accuracy. Unlike the battleship, the number 3 is the best for base accuracy. I'm going to use that one. And we'll throw on a funnel. Start. No superimposed. We have our centerline guns. Max out at 11 inches. I'm looking at this weight offset. Trying to figure out. I can set it further aft, and that would be beneficial for the firing arc, but the ship is balanced a little bit more aft already. No 5 or 6 inch, 5 inch slots. Can't be 2 inch slots. Oh. 2 inches don't do anything. Glad I'm going with the minimum size then. What can we do for secondary guns though? Is there any room? Oh, you can mount them. Nope, that's in the center line where the funnels go. Like there's windows there. Looks like there should be able to stick a gun. But those are just slots, those are gun ports. Okay. I don't know, maybe I should get rid of these 2 inch. I don't think they're very heavy though. And then we have our torpedoes. They're very expensive. And then the overall weight, we can afford 2 of these. What if we reduced equipment, reloading equipment, also reduce the ammo, also oh, no. Better have the compound armor for weight. Drop the speed to 18. Then we'd have 3. That would be without modifying the armor at all. We'll do it. We'll see how it works out. Could be interesting. Look at this from their perspective. Do they have torpedoes? See, there's the 11 inch. 11-inch move really slow without any training gear. We were looking at net 5% bonus to accuracy. Alright, there we go. Primaries. Primaries. Just shy. And no penetration. Let's see what's causing that malice for the reload time. I didn't think about that. Fun though. Could penetrate 10 inches ago. Oh, and there was a good hit. And another one. A ridiculously short range. Armed with 12-inch. Could set a 6-inch along the sides. Do 4-inch in the upper deck. Thumb on the fore and aft deck, and then a couple 2-inch behind the forward mast. You can see our torpedoes in the water. Looks like we'll get them with one, even though they're already trying to evade. Oh, no, they're slowing down enough. It'll pass across their bow. That was a good hit. On the 11-inch. And the same one, 210. 260, 210. That's all of our 11-inchers for the moment. That'll be our next salvo of 11. There's 2. There's 2 more. And 4. Well, 2, because the rear turret for Gaeta is damaged. And missed. Glorious. And we can get lucky with more torpedoes. Actually, let's go ahead. Tighten up the formation. There we go. The hit, but it bounced. And see how they've swapped the model. Show the damage that's been had. Yep, and there's some more torpedoes. We're gonna hit with one of them. Right aft of midships. Which damages engine 1. That'll slow them down. May cause some flooding too, but I don't see that. Mostly she's just on fire. Mass conflagration. And now Gaeta has taken enough damage that she has automatically fallen back, and Trento is now the lead ship. Ooh, that was a good hit. Good penetration. Oh, we've almost killed her just by lighting her on extensive fire. Yep. Without depleting one of her hit point pools. Not that it's really a hit point pool, it's a bunch of different hit point pools for different parts of the ship. There's some scenarios for specifically speed, catching somebody. One without shooting, one with. Some torpedoes. It was a little hard at first. Think a battleship with torpedo boats. Fun though. And shoot the torpedo boats with a battleship. Within that time limit, can be challenging. It's not too hard though. Then you have some convoy attacks. An undefended one, which that one is just silly. And then the defended one, which that one's a little bit more interesting. Destroyer attack against a heavy cruiser and transports. I actually got stuck on that one for a little bit. Then one battleship against multiple. Or actually, your battleships against theirs. But they limit you on tech, you're behind. Then a battle cruiser against a battleship. And then a dreadnought, and go make a super dreadnought and go take out someone. A whole fleet. And then I haven't gotten into a lot of these other ones. Look to be torpedo, a modern dreadnought. Modern for the game, like 1920. Destroyers versus torpedo boats. Super dreadnought or battle cruiser. I don't know what I'd pick. I like maybe some battle cruisers. Then a fleet action, Avenger convoy, the whole fleet, search and destroy. Yeah, need to have faster ships. And then the modern battleship, which is they give you disgusting amounts of funds and all the tech, and you can basically make the Yamato or worse. But with that, I am relatively out of time. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and hearing my impressions. I look forward to seeing what they do with the game and how they'll flesh out the designer. I kind of like where it is. Not exactly what was pitched in their initial announcement, and I'm not sure if they still plan on to do the modules, interchangeable modules, where okay, we have this stepped gun deck, or we can do a flush bow, and I can swap those out for better hull form or more guns, or whether they're just going to stick with the hull that you can stretch or compress, and they're just going to flesh that out more. I'd be a little disappointed to see the modular approach go, but I can kind of understand from a design standpoint why they would. I still think it's an amazing basis to start with, especially with those options for the scenarios. That definitely makes it a lot more interesting right now. Is it worth $50 right now? I don't think so. Is it worth getting in on the $25 or whenever they release it in early 2020? I think so. I haven't seen a game quite like this in the nautical vein that is easy to design, and a lot of fun and tinkery and a lot of values to look at and play with that are really a lot of fun. So with that, hopefully you can make a informed decision of your own, and I look forward to seeing how the game develops and where the community kind of steers it. But with that, I am out of time. Thank you for staying till the end. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Take care.